Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about comping vocals or comping any kind of track. So what does that term even mean, comping? I think it comes from the word compilation. A compilation, as you know, is a group of varying items. And when you do a compilation or a comp track on, say, a vocal track, you're taking multiple takes of the same material, and you are taking the best bits of each of those and compiling that into a final version. So that's essentially the basic definition of a comp track. And I'm going to show you how to do that in Pro Tools. Okay, the first thing we need to do is add a mono audio track to record vocals. And I'm going to name this Vox. And now I'm going to do this .01. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because this is going to be my first take. And usually you've noticed on other videos that you'll always see that I have .0 something after each track. That's so I can keep track of which take I am looking at on an individual track. So .01, and then I go ahead and I would record my data. When I'm done recording that, if I want to add an additional take, I use this disclosure triangle right here, and I click on that, and I say New. It's basically in Pro Tools called a new take. It's called a playlist. So it's going to give you a new playlist. As soon as I click on that, you'll see now it automatically read that I had .01, and so it automatically names it .02, which is perfect, because then I can add multiple takes or multiple playlists, one right after the other, and this automatically names the take correctly. So I click there, and now you can see I'm on take 2 or playlist 2. You'll also notice that here in Pro Tools, this disclosure triangle or drop-down menu is showing blue now. That tells you that there are multiple playlists that you can choose from. See here, showing playlist 1, and now we're looking at playlist 2. So that's how you create multiple playlists inside of Pro Tools. Okay, now I'm going to show you an example of how you might use multiple playlists to record the same part, or roughly the same part, 4 different times, and then go in and use the comping abilities of Pro Tools to comp a track from those 4 parts. So I've got a drum here that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to turn on the click and play a variety of different segments, and then we'll take that and piece that together into one congruent playlist. Okay, so I've changed the name of the track to drum, and let's go ahead and record various playlists. Okay, so there's one playlist. Here's the second. I'll go ahead and say, let's just go to the Vox one I had, and I'll just rename it. So it's Drum 02. Then we'll add a new playlist. You can see it's playlist 3. So now that we've got our 4 takes, we can actually view each of these takes by going to the track view selector and selecting playlist. When you select playlist, it shows you a vertical list of all of the takes that you've done. So what I'm going to do here, we've got 4 to choose from. I'm going to add a new one, new playlist, and we're going to call this comp. The reason we'll call it comp is because this is where we're going to copy everything to when we are comping our track. So now there's our comp track, and here are our 4 solo tracks. I can actually put them in order, 1 through 4, and you can see all of them right here. Now, what's interesting here, you've got a few things to look at. One is the solo button, and the solo button in the playlist works different than the solo button on normal tracks. In the playlist, when you solo this, it's only soloing this take out of all of the other takes, or this playlist out of all the other playlists. All the other tracks in your session will not be soloed. So for example, even though I have this soloed right here, you can see that you can still hear the click. So it's not being soloed right there. So the reason for this is because when you're soloing each of these playlists, you want to hear it in context with the other music that might be playing inside of your session. So just remember that the solo button works differently in the playlists than it does in its standard configuration in Pro Tools. So what we can do now is we can listen to each of these playlists. So now I've got the first take soloed, and we can hear how that sounds. Okay, I like the first bar, and I liked the third or fourth bar. You can see now that I've got a section highlighted that this up arrow button is become available. What that means is when I hit this, it's going to take this and paste it up here into my comp or my final track. So I've listened, I've decided I really like this part and I want it to be part of my final. So I click on this button and promote it. Basically, it's just copying and pasting it. And we'll go out here, maybe listen to the second bar. Nope, that one's a little sloppy. Listen to the third one. Okay, I kind of like that. So now we'll promote that up here as well. Let's find something for this third bar. What we could do is turn on loop recording by right-clicking here and saying loop, or hitting 4 on the 10 key pad. Then it'll loop whatever selection we have. Okay, let's try this one. Let me take this out of record so it will loop. Nope. Go to the first one. The second one. Okay, I don't mind that one. So I'll take that one and promote that. Let's go down to the next bar and let's select the fourth. Not sure I like that. Let's try the third one. Second one. Okay, maybe I like that one. So I will make that selection and promote that one. Now let's try going down here to this fourth part. Okay, let's copy that up there. So now let's go to this bar and we'll go to take 1. And another way to do this is just scroll down through these solo buttons each time, in this case, the 1 bar has passed. So here's our first pass, second, third, fourth. Yeah, I like that one. We go down here, promote it, and let's take this bar. Actually, let's take the last 2 bars, and we'll go through each of these again systematically. Here's take 1. Second one. Here's the second one. the third one. Fourth. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to take the third one for this bar and the first one for that bar. Now I can unsolo these, and when I have this unsoloed, the track that will play will be the comped part. Okay, awesome. Now we can go in here and just look at the individual parts and look at their fades or create fades that work for each of these parts. And then click on the clip and hit the right arrow to move to the next edit. Move this back a little bit, put a fade on there, click, right arrow. Same thing here. Click on it, right arrow. Same thing here. Grab this and move it to the left. Same thing here. This one, I'm going to peel back a little bit. This one's got definitely an early hit, and this one is a little bit off. So I'm just going to grab this, move that a little bit. I'm going to select the whole thing, and then just hit F for fade. And then let's put a fade on the end here. Now let's listen to what we have for our comped tabla part. Okay, awesome. So there is my completed comped tabla part in this case. Now, you could do this with solos, with individual performance parts like a piano part or drum kit part or whatever. Mostly it's used to comp lead vocal parts. So a stereotypical example would be if you have a vocalist, they come in, they sing the song like 4, 5, or 6 times, and you take individual takes or playlists of each of those, and then when they're done, they come in and they listen to these, then they go ahead and start creating a comped final vocal track.